So, what happens after the dark night of the soul? We're going to talk a little bit about this today. We're going to look at the reintegration phase after a dark night of the soul experience. So let's just quickly dive in and define what the dark night of the soul is. Before I do that, one quick apology. Not that I need to apologize really, but a bit sick in the sinuses. I've been doing lots of yoga in preparation for my 500-hour advanced teacher training yoga course that I'm about to embark on. And when that happens, what tends to happen, at least this is my experience, is you end up getting a little bit sick as you really detoxify the system. So here we are, I have to deal with it, and you'll have to deal with my nasally voice. Before we dive into the video itself, I just want to bring your attention down below to the free and paid offerings that we have down below. There's a free Introduction to Hatha Yoga course, there's a free breathing practice session that you can engage in yourself. There's also a free community if you're going through an awakening experience and you just want a Sangha or a like-minded community of awakening souls, you can join in there. But the thing I want to bring your attention to most of all is the Freedom Blueprint. This is the next step for anybody who wants to take it on their yogic path or on their spiritual awakening path. If you're lacking structure, if you're lacking where to go, if you need some pointers in the right direction, this is the full foundational structure for yourself to give you tools and tips on how to relate with yourself. And they're battle-tested tools, they just work. Also involved in that is a shed load of sadhana. Sadhana just means your daily spiritual practice to bring about the highest aliveness of energy and shift the trajectory of your life into a new possibility and take your life to the moon, and so good, or to infinity and beyond if you like Buzz Lightyear. Anyway, here goes to the video then. The dark night of the soul is a dark experience. We recognize this, don't we? It's an emotional roller coaster. You're feeling lots of emotional pain inside of yourself, and you don't really know what to do with it. Most of it seems unconscious, there's not much thinking perhaps around these negative emotions. They just come and they blindside you. And the reason this is happening is because we have a negatively trained nervous system. We're taught to be expectant of things going wrong. We believe things about ourselves to be true that aren't necessarily true, in fact that aren't true at all, and this causes a lot of emotional pain inside of ourselves. And so this is an upgrade though. Don't be worried, it's just getting rid of the stuff that you don't need anymore, isn't it? You'll recognize that you're calling for a freedom moment, for a new life that you want to experience, and deep down that you have a lot to offer to this world, and life wants to bring you center stage to be able to do that. But to do that, you first must get rid of all of the stuff that can't come with you. You have to get rid of the old luggage. We have to recycle and refresh. Now, once we've been through the worst of that phase and the emotional pain begins to stop, we've probably been a hermit for a while, meaning we've probably stayed away from society a little bit. We've stayed in our homes doing our sadhana, isn't it? Or maybe not, doing our sadhana, and perhaps we not necessarily let because it feels guided, but relationships fall away, friendships fall away, don't they? Not all of them. Don't let this feed into any fear of things inside of you. You can still have friends, you can still have your family and your relationships, but anything that's not really meant for you definitely will drop away. If there's an imbalance there and they're taking more from a relationship than giving you, then in fact those relationships might drop away, so that you get to reassess inside of yourself what it is that you'd prefer in a relationship or a friendship or something like this. And these can be really painful moments, isn't it, when they drop away? And of course, that's probably the toughest part of all of this. But we're not here to talk about necessarily this aspect of it, because once this phase is done, we have to reintegrate into the world again, isn't it? Which can be quite a scary task. because it's at this moment we've probably taken a year out of life or something, or we've been dealing with it silently and living two lives inside of ourselves. We're really not coping with life on one level, but still able to do the tasks that we need to do in life, or that work might ask of us or require of us, or that family might require, or the business might require of us, isn't it? And so as we step back out into the world, this can be an incredibly fearful task, because in a way you can ask yourself this question when it comes to reintegrating back into society in a way, and serving people to the best of your ability. Ask yourself this question to find out what beliefs you might still be holding on to that are negative or detrimental to you. Let's give an example about making new friends, or starting a new hobby, or starting a new job. But you're a little bit fearful to take that step. Why? Because you're out of practice socially or something, or you're out of practice in that work profession that you've done, or you're starting a completely new venture in work, a completely new job. Ask yourself this question: what is it that I am scared about, or what do I fear might happen if I do move forward with this thing? What's the fear behind me moving forward? And this will elucidate, I think that's the right word, we're going to go with it. Guess this sickness gives me brain fog, eh? But I can find out from asking that question the exact belief that I'm still holding on to inside of myself. What is it that I'm scared might happen, or what do I fear if I move forward with this? Well, that I might not be good enough, or that I might get rejected or something. And then at least we have something to cling on to, isn't it? Not that we should really cling on to anything, but just a phrase, We at least then have some basis and some understanding of me saying, okay, well now I have this belief that I recognize in myself. But if I'm to integrate truly into society, then does this belief serve me? If it doesn't serve me, I might want to ask myself another question. And that question is, but how would I feel if I didn't believe this to be true about myself? An answer's not going to come mentally. The answer has to be experienced. And with a whole system of yoga and training to be able to help us do that, as we retrain the nervous system into some sense of normality again, as the perceived fears of the world begin to loom, as we get ready to take that next step into our new life. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. We recognize that, because we have to battle again our fears, don't we? There's a great saying, isn't there? Feel the fear and do it anyway. I can guarantee to you, you won't regret it. I'm not saying it'll be a success first time, but you'll find your success in something. And that's what we're here for, isn't it? When I say success, what do I mean? Perhaps we have to look at a different definition of success too. I'm not saying you won't get money. You will get money, of course, because you need money in this universe to survive, most likely. But there are other values of success, isn't it? And my value of success is how happy I am. And I don't need money for that. I get to control the way that I feel. Not always, because some things just hit you, right? But I get to control how I can respond to the way that I feel. And if that's always positive, then I'm more likely to take positive actions as I reintegrate into the society. If I respond with negativity to what's happening, I'm more likely to take negative actions as I reintegrate into society. And there's not better or worse here, really, because either way we learn. But for sure, what we can control, we should. And we can control our response to life. So let's make it life positive as we begin to come out of that cocoon of the dark night of the soul, as we come out of the hermit shell or the hermit phase of awakening and begin going back to life or society in a new way, from a new perspective, from a new vantage point, with everything in you now that you've learnt from the dark night of the soul. You will never be the same again, and nor will you relate to the world in the same way again. And that, my friend, is a really good thing. So here's to your sanity, which is truly where you're going. We're becoming more sane, We're seeing life really as it is, rather than through the lens of years of conditioning and ancestral karma that's been passed down through the generations to us. So, if you're in this reintegration phase, well done for having done the hard work. Now, freedom awaits. That requires a new set of work, and here's to that as you reintegrate. Namaste.